look. Here's let's just take a step back, right? 50,000 foot view. Super Bowl ring, rushing champion. Spent a lot of time with the Baltimore Ravens, got the job done, and then played for the Cleveland Browns as well. A lot of accolades. He's in the Ring of Honor there in Baltimore. We can paint you up nice and big here, Jamal, but we want to hear it from you. My first question for you is, what was it like that very first time you stepped on an NFL field and got ready for your first game?
I can't say the first game. I think it was against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that was our first home game, and I knew I wasn't really going to play, and I was just going to sit back and watch Priest, do his thing and watch the Ravens, and in my first NFL game, and I honestly did not think that I was gonna get too many snaps, but I think that first game I might have gotten about 8 snaps or something like that. But honestly, man, like the man right there in front of you, Priest Holmes, like he was the best teacher, the best tutor. He was smart. So honestly, by me being able to sit back and watch and learn and just kind of see what he was doing because everything moved fast. So that was the real test for the speed of the game was that first NFL game.
Yeah, so Jamal had touched on something pretty interesting. He talked about that kind of the first time that we met and being back there in the backfield going into preseason. But one of the things that I think about what he mostly said was about learning from someone that came prior to you. Right. And for me, that was Ernest Biner. And so Ernest was there in 1997. Yep. It was his last year. He was 35 years of age. I'd be running in practice thinking there's no way that this old man is going to be able to keep up with us young guys. And every down, every day he was in practice ready, putting in 100% work ethic. And also the one thing that he told me is that there was a big difference between being a running back and a professional running back. And a part of that was watching film. And so when I think about watching film, Jamal, it kind of goes back to that first, I guess the first conversation we really had when you came in as a rookie, definitely coming in that first round pick as a running back, pretty exciting things. But one thing I want to ask you about, do you remember the conversation that we had probably prior to the season beginning? It was during the preseason. And I remember you coming to me and you saying, hey, if there's anything that you can share with me, give me any information that you have about this game. And I said, yeah, I could definitely do it. But there's one thing that we have to do. One, on Thursday nights, you got to buy barbecue for all the running backs. Nice. And we meet at his house because he had a nice spread back then. And not only the house, but the car too. Yeah, you had some really nice toys back then. Okay. But outside of the toys and the house, there was something specific about us doing a running back dinner every Thursday night. So if you could speak on that a little bit and talk about how we got that put together.
Man, that was like honestly like the best thing that could have happened, as a young player coming in because it was you and Sam Gash, first of all. So between you and Sam Gash, y'all were like two coaches too. And I didn't know how to watch film. I know some of the other guys like Brookings and some of these cats, they didn't know how to watch film. But at the same time, just being able to sit back and listen to what you guys were saying about what was going on film, it really helped, our backfield. And I think just our unit, man, even though outside of Coach Simon, even though, he was a good coach or whatever, but I think that, like all of us bonding together and doing what we did on Thursday nights, I remember it religiously because I had to get the food, make sure everything was straight, make sure the boys was good. And but it was a real good that was definitely needed. And I think, with my career, a lot of my career, later on in doing that with other guys, I started doing that with the younger guys that came under me too. So that's big, man. And you don't really have that a lot, especially from vets, trying to help out the young guys that's coming in. And I appreciated it, but I sure remember it, definitely.
Now, was Priest over here ordering seconds to take home for the next day? Was he racking up that bill for you, Jamal?
Hey, no, Priest was lean and mean. He used to eat good.
Sure. That's a very vital part of being part of a group like that, right? You want to set yourself aside. These are your running backs. You're there to take care of each other. So that's cool that you guys built that relationship right out of the gate because you got a first round pick coming in. He's also a running back. Like, what was going through your head at that time, Priest? Like, and that led to your first impressions of Jamal.
Yeah, well, Mark, there was a number of things going through my head. First off, Jamal, you probably don't realize this, but I was in Beaumont, Texas, of all places, during that draft day when they were making those calls, and they obviously ended up picking Jamal out of Tennessee. I was in Beaumont helping a friend out. He was opening up a club. I was spending some time off working out and something to do, just despite knowing that this draft was about to happen, and there was some words being shared that there was going to be a young kid out of Tennessee that we'd be bringing in. But the thing that resonates with me more than anything else is how Jamal, when he came in, he was actually ready. I think he was one of the first running backs that I've seen come out of college that stepped right out of college and stepped right into the game, was already ready. Jamal, right at about 5'11", 6 foot, right? Where you at, Jamal? 6 foot, 6'1"? What we going to give you?
I was pushing 5'11".
5'11". Yeah, so Jamal
Nice.
definitely, even though with him being 5'11", you just got to remember in the division, that AFC East where I was coming from, there was Bam Morris, which was in 97, Eddie George, Kajana Carter, Fred Taylor out of Jacksonville. So there
Sure.
was a number of running backs that just between 5'11" to 6'2", and with Eddie George being 6'4", 6'5", they definitely had the size. And Jamal came in at 235. So for me looking at Jamal, I said, well, this kid coming in, he's ready. I mean, he's the size of a linebacker, NFL linebacker. So I knew, like, for me, that would be like me every down going against a defensive back. You know, I'm coming in at a 208 pounds, 210 pounds. I'm going to have the advantage. So with Jamal coming in at 235, lean, had incredibly quick feet, he had the ability that he ran behind his pads as well. So that was one of the things that stood out the most with me about Jamal.
Yeah, I mean, that's a heck of a first impression. So let's talk about some of that pedigree, right? Jamal, you played at Tennessee. You won a championship. You're there the time Peyton Manning was there, right? What was the environment like playing at Tennessee, and what did you take from that experience that you brought right to the pro game right away?
I think that I tell the story a lot, but I remember being in practice as a freshman, and Peyton, first team was in, second team was in, doing their thing. I was like working third, fourth team, and I remember Coach Cutcliffe. Coach Cutcliffe came to me and he said, "Hey Jamal," he said, "you can't." He said, "You can't play for me." And I was like, "What do you mean I can't play for you?" And he's like, "Because you're not a practice player." And I was just like, I'm a gamer. I'm like, this is what I do. But at the same time, he was just like, he said, tomorrow when you come to practice, he said, watch number 16. He said, watch number 16 tomorrow in practice, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. And when I watched Peyton practice, he practiced 100 miles an hour, gave 100%, and it was all, if there's mistakes, make corrections. Get it right the first time so we don't have to do it again. And it was just that leadership. And ever since then, every practice, anytime I came out on the field, it was like 100%, 100%, 100 miles an hour, full speed. And I think from that moment, it kind of built who I was and what my work ethic was, and in the SEC at the time, it was, and even in big college football anyway at that time, it was you lose one game, you're out of the hunt, and we were one of those teams where if we lost a game, that was a failure, for the season, So it was hey, let's go and try to win championships. And I think that when I came into the Ravens, it was like, everybody was there. We had leadership there, we had veterans there, we had some nice mix of some young guys that wasn't just first year guys, but they were guys that, had been in the league 2 or 3 years, but at the same time, they contributed. And the organization as a whole, it was just the perfect fit for, what I had already learned, what I knew, my work ethic and everything else. And coming from a University of Tennessee, it was like I was just planted into a good working machine or whatever, and I just added value, just added more value to whatever what they already had, you know. So it was I want to say it was, I can remember the first play that I had in practice, and I would see, you know, Priest, he would go in and he would just do, you know, just make it cut and go. And coach was like, all right, young back, whatever he used to call me. He was like, your turn. And as soon as I got in, I like ran right into the back of the lineman and just fell, you know. And then Priest got me to the back, and he was like, hey, just run it. Just know where you're going, know where it's at, and just one step and hit it, you know, whatever. And I watched him go back in, and it was like, doop, doop. And he just ran through there. We in shorts, you know, and you got these big dudes, and it's like, it's fast, you know, and everything's fast. And I end up going back in there, got patient, you know, and learned it. Don't be in a rush. And and it was just off to that was the start, you know, and getting it going.
Holmes Stretch is exclusively brought to you by Bet365. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Sign up, place a bet for $5 and get $300 in bonus bets. Win or lose. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, player props, futures, and so much more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER in Arizona, Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. Or 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa. 21 plus only, 18 plus in Kentucky. Please gamble responsibly. Must be present in Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, select parishes in Louisiana, Maryland, North Carolina, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Virginia. $10 minimum deposit required. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
This has been a Playmaker production.